We are here at the Literacy Joint with Tony Adair. We're going to talk about the new book, the book of the month. The book of the month. This month is the Survival Bible. Are you familiar with this?
Yes, I am.
Okay, we're going to elaborate a little bit on this. I think this sort of it goes into what you're talking about. This particular book is a book about, it's a good read, it's a good find. It's actually about a young man who returns from prison to see the younger generation, if you will, the X generation.
We're X, so they're Y.
Oh, the Y generation,
Right,
X
Y.
and Y. What am I? Never mind. Don't even go there. But he's returned home to find that the Y generation is falling a little short of living up to what the X generation has done. The young man he came home to find out that the younger men are wearing their pants past their hips, and the ladies are blossoming all over the place, and that is where their mind is, and that's the only place they're going. They walk in the streets, and they have nothing on their mind. Now, Antonio, what do you think about this book? What do you think about the youth?
Well, I think that with society being the way that it is, I know that the Negro College Fund says that a mind is a terrible thing to waste. And I think in this society, I think waste is a terrible thing to the mind. Waste in the fact that what we see, and I'm a hip hop fan, don't get me wrong, but waste in what we see on the videos and things of that nature, the waste that we allow to get into our minds, and then waste from the standpoint of not using our minds. You know, when was the last time most people picked up a book? I know I've talked with some folks who, once they graduated college, they say they would never pick up another book. Why would you even make a statement like that? One of my favorite quotes is from Ben Franklin, and Ben Franklin says, you must first pour your purse into your mind will pour back into your purse. So therefore, if you want your income to grow, you have to grow. Years and years ago, I remember doing a training, and I talked about if there was anything that you wanted to get better in, if you read a book a month for the course of a year, you know, there'd be no possible way that you wouldn't know the intricacies of that particular thing, whether it's being a motivational speaker, how to break down an engine, whatever it is. If you're reading a book a month on that particular subject or topic, there's no possible way that you cannot be better at the end of that year, if that makes any sense. So, you know, with what is going on, most people, unfortunately, most youth are being influenced by what they see on television and things of that nature. And once again, it's waste. And waste is a terrible thing to the mind.
Okay, well, that's so true, but I still think that our youth have a misconception of what financial freedom is.
Absolutely.
Even when you speak about marketing, I think that they're looking at marketing not as though we would look at marketing. So I just would love for you to just tell them exactly. I mean, it has to be a blueprint for them, step by step. Now, I know we talked about marketing and that you have to find something that you really enjoy, but they need a step-by-step process, I think. Like the first thing you would do, what would you tell them to do? The first thing that you would want them to do,
well,
other than find the product.
Right. Well, for me, being in the industry now for 15 years, there are a few things that I look for specifically before I make a decision to get involved with a company. And first and foremost, it is a product. You know, it has to be something that people care about, something that's going to make a difference within the marketplace. Okay? Because most times within companies, most people aren't passionate about the product. They're passionate about making money. Don't get me wrong. We all want to make money, but most folks are just passionate about the compensation structure and not the product. So what it all falls back to is, you know, friends and family laundering money amongst each other because nobody even really cares about the product. They're more concerned with the type of money that they can generate. Okay. Also, for me, I look to see if the company is well financed. You know, a lot of companies borrow just enough money to go out of business. So they borrow just enough money to fail. And so here within this industry, a company that's had some longevity, they've been here 5 years, 10 years or so, that's a company that's been around. That's something that, you know, because they're companies that start up every single day. They're here today, gone tomorrow. Some of them are just scams. You know, I remember years ago someone called me up and they talked about a company that marketed organic beef jerky. There were 33 different flavors of beef jerky. And I said, well, look, I don't eat beef, you know. He said, well, that's the deal. We have turkey jerky too. And so, you know, I wouldn't eat turkey jerky, you know, but he was passionate about that particular product. And I'm pretty sure, unfortunately, that company is not in business today. But so once again, the product, the company has to be well financed. It's going to be here long term, if that makes any sense. You have to look at it from the marketing team, meaning that have these guys been there, done that? Because you can't take the company to some place that you haven't been yourself, the leadership. So the leadership has to be there as well. And so in addition to that, has someone in that particular company done recently what it is that I want to do? Because a lot of times, you know, folks will attach themselves to companies that have been here for years and years and years, and that boat has come and sailed, meaning that you will never have an opportunity to generate the type of incomes that the folks had the opportunity to generate when they were here initially. Does that kind of make sense here? And so one of my mentors from a distance is a gentleman by the name of Dexter Yeager. And Dexter Yeager was with Amway when it was Amway. Today it's Quickstar, still a great company. But when he was with it when it was Amway, at one particular time he was earning $1 million every 17 hours selling soap. Okay. $1 million every 17 hours. But today, to get involved with Quickstar or Amway, whatever it is you want to call it, we don't have the opportunity that Dexter Yeager had years and years ago. Does that kind of make sense here? And so timing is very important as well to get involved, in my opinion, with a company that markets long distance, you know, where we can get long distance for free on our cell phones and things of that nature. And so that timing has come and gone. And to get out there and market you know, cell phones, period, in that opinion. You know, I remember years ago that, you know, cell phones were huge and gigantic and they cost a bunch of money, and now you can literally, they give them away, you know. And so to compete in that type of marketplace where I have to go purchase a phone for someone and then I can go to a Sprint store next door, whatever, and they just give it to me, you know what I mean? And so you have to look at that once again. But some people will make a decision to get involved with that particular company, not because of the product or the technology, but make a decision to get involved with that company because of the compensation structure. Does it kind of make sense?
Yeah.
And so it really plays a huge part in you being passionate about that particular product that company is marketing.
Well, you also find a lot of the younger generation wanting to start their own business. I don't know if this ties into marketing or not, in the way that you're speaking. That when you have it used to be like the mom and pop stores. Now you got the young stands. You know, they're selling T-shirts, they're selling hats, they're selling this. So do you suggest that that's a good way of getting into?
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. If, you know, once again, for me, you know, my mom always shared with me, she worked for the state of Maryland up until about 10 years ago. And from the time I was, you know, in third grade until about 10 years ago, and my mom told me she always wanted me to have more than what she had and to be able to do better than what she did. Well, she could only teach me what she knew. If I wanted to have more and do better, I had to learn from someone who actually had more and did better. Does that kind of make sense?
Makes sense.
And so from a standpoint of being able to go out here and start a business, anything that's legal, I definitely encourage that people do that, if you will. But also my philosophy is a little different when it comes to starting a business. We all know that most statistics show that most businesses go out of business within the first, 6 months to 5 years. They go out of business. And 80% of them go out of business within the first 6 months to 5 years. And why is that? Because most of us have been raised to work a traditional 9 to 5. We don't really have any business sense, if you will. So my thing is, my philosophy is a little different. You know, if you're going to start a business, work that business like a job until it pays you like a business.
Exactly.
And once it starts to pay you like a business, then you treat it like a business. Because once again, 99.9% of us have worked a job. You know, we were sick, kids were sick, you know, we had an issue with the vehicle or whatever it was, but we still pressed on, went into that 9 to 5. But it's kind of crazy when folks start their own business. If an ailment comes on, if they have issues with cars, something of that nature, they won't open their business. So once again, treat it like a job until it pays you like a business. Then once it starts to pay you like a business, then you can treat it like a business.
Well, we're going to treat this like a job until it pays us like a business.
Absolutely.
And we're going to be right back.